Hello everybody, my name is Jemmy. Today we're going to be doing a quick review of modules in Python, and I'm going to be using Jupyter Notebook for today. You could use Colab or Visual Studio Code, PyCharm, or Sublime Text, anything. I think they'll all work. We're going to be reviewing math module, random module, system module, and we're going to be doing a lot of PIP stuff. So let's get right into it. First off, we're going to be taking a look at the math module, and we're going to be using this one little string of code. It's import math, and it does what the name says. It imports the math module, and you can import any module using this code right here. Just import and then the module name. You can find more modules at pypy.org. You could go look in there if you want to install anything else. And then our second little code here is going to be using the .floor feature or the ceiling feature of the math module. And so we're going to have a variable called health. It's going to be user input, so it's going to ask the user how much health does your Pokemon have. So the user puts in the amount of health, and then we're going to do floor health equal math.floor float health. So you're going to have to put in a decimal point because it's going to round it up or down. So this right here is going to round it down, and we're going to have to do float health here because this right now is a string, so we're going to turn to a float. And a float and an integer is different because an integer is a whole number and a float is a decimal. We're going to make it a float, then we're going to math.floor, and then floor health will equal to whatever it's rounded down to. And then from there, we're going to print it out. Your Pokemon's HP is rounded down to str floor health, and we're going to turn this variable into an str because right now it's a float, I'm pretty sure. And then we're going to turn to a string so it can fit in within the rest of the string, and let's run it. How much health does your Pokemon have? I'll put 83.8. Oh shoot, math is not defined. Oh, I forgot to run this porting math. Okay, let's write it down again. Your Pokemon's HP is rounded down to 82, so that's flooring. Now if we were to replace this with ceiling, like so, let's change this to rounded up, and now let's try putting 82.8 again. Math.ceiling. Math has no, did I type it in wrong or something? Wait, hold on. Ceiling. Oh, okay guys, I just found out it's actually not ceiling, it's SEIL, so seal. Like, so let's copy this and then let's paste it in here. Okay, there you go. Okay, thank you W3 schools. I was really confused because I know there was like a rounding up, but I wasn't sure what it was. It was actually ceiling, but they shortened it down to SEI or seal. Now we rounded 8.3 to 9, and yeah, you can decide between seal / floor, which one you want to round it up or down. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to be looking at square roots for this one. So first off, we're going to define a function called weaken, and then it has a local variable called enemy, and then when we use this function, it's going to say print your enemy's HP has been decreased to str math.square root enemy plus exclamation point. So we're going to be looking at right here. What this does is it basically square roots the enemy's HP. As you can see down here, we're going to ask for the enemy's HP, how much it's at right now, and then from there we're going to just make it turn to a square root. So find the square root of it, which will make it way less, which will help us in our battle. And then we're going to turn to an str because right now it's a integer, I'm pretty sure, or a float. I think it's a float, yeah. And so basically after equal input, so after its variable, it is a user input asking for the enemy's HP, and then it will just call weaken float after. So it's going to put this variable, whatever the user put in, so like 83 pretend, and put in here. It's going to turn to a float, just in case they put like a decimal point in there, and it's going to process through this function, and then it will come out as the square root of their HP. So let's say 25, right? It's going to turn out into 5. Your enemy's HP has been decreased to 5.0. And if we were to put it with a decimal, 24.9, I guess, it still works. But if we turn this into int, then it won't work anymore because it doesn't support the decimal points. So yeah, that's why I like to keep it as a float. But float does take up a little bit more room than an integer, so I wouldn't recommend it. But nowadays it doesn't really matter because our computers can like run pretty good, and so I just use float. But a downside with float is they have like a little annoying 0.0 at the end when even if it's a whole number, it has 0.0. If you don't like that, then just change it to integer. Just make sure they don't enter in any decimal points. All right, let's move on to the next one. Absolute value. Absolute value is like one of my most favorite subjects in math because it's so easy. When I'm learning it at school, it's like, is this actually what absolute value is? I was so confused because it's just basically making it a negative number into a positive number, and if you absolute value a positive number, it just stays the same. So it's like really easy. So I use absolute value so it can revive your Pokemon. So we're gonna have another function here called revive, a local variable called HP. After HP is another local variable equals to math.fabs HP. Fabs is absolute value and HP is whatever the user puts in. So at print, your Pokemon has been revived from the original HP to the after HP. So this is after it gets revived and this is before it gets revived. So from then we're gonna have a variable which is also user input. I like user inputs because it makes the user feel more like interactive with the program, so they can actually do something instead of just looking at the text. So after equals input, what HP is your Pokemon on now, assuming that it has like fainted, so like negative something, and then after that it will call the function revive, and it will make it into an integer, not a float. I can make it a float. Revive float after. The reason we need to turn to a float right here, this is actually converting this variable. We're converting it because right now it's a string and we can't do operations, math operations with a string, so we turn to a float. And let's try it out. So what is your Pokemon's health on now? Let's make it like 80, like they did really hard damage, right? So negative 82.3, and then it says your Pokemon has been revived from negative 82.3 to 82.3. You can actually add a little exclamation point here just to make it look better. Negative 82.3, like so, and a little exclamation point. But anyways, that's the main gist of the code. It's just absolute value, and I just wanted to like make a creative way on intertwining with Pokemon. So yeah, I'm pretty I think it's pretty fun to do that. And now we're gonna move on from the math module to the random module. The random module is pretty interesting because you can do a lot of stuff with it. And we're first gonna have to import it like always, and I'm not gonna forget to import it this time. So it's the same thing as the math module. Instead of math, we have random, import random, shift enter, and it will import it. And from there we will do randint Pokemon list equals to Mew, Sunkern, Ho-Oh, Glider, Swirlix. So this is just a list of Pokemons we made called Pokemon list, and then we're gonna declare a variable right here called poke number. We're gonna make it an integer type because we're gonna do something that requires math with it in this function. So once we declared this integer variable, we're gonna define choose, which is a function, and it has it says this is a local variable. Poke number equal random.randint. Randint is basically like choosing between integers. I think it's short for random integers. I'm pretty sure, but it'll random between whatever we put here, comma, and then whatever we put behind the comma. So this could be 10, it'll random from 0 to 10, but instead we did len Pokemon list -1. The reason we put -1 here is because it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It's 5 long, but since Python starts from 0, it doesn't have a 5th slot. So if we were to random and the number equals to 5, then it would say it will have an error because there's no 5th slot. So we have to subtract 1 because it actually counts 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Swirlix is 4, but after we subtract 1, there's no more 5. Alright, from there we're going to print a string called I choose you, and then the Pokemon name. We're going to turn this into str because I'm pretty sure right now it's an integer. So we're going to Pokemon list poke number. Poke number is going to be random, so we're going to choose just something random from this list right here, and we're going to put an exclamation point at the end. And then from then we're going to call the function and shift enter like so, and then it says I choose you Gligar. If we do it again, I choose you Mew, Gligar, Swirlix, Gligar. Man, there's a lot of Gligars, right? Sunkern, Gligar, Sunkern, Ho-Oh, Gligar, Swirlix, Mew, etc. So that's basically randint. We could use this in multiple different ways, not only just selecting Pokemons from a list, but you could do it like randoming your HP or something else that requires numbers or integers. And from then we have random choice. Random choice is basically the easier version of what we did up here, but instead of randoming between just a list, we can random between different multiple types of like, I don't know how to call it, multiple different types of things. It's like string, integers, float, booleans, etc. So you can make your own little thing here. I made it my list. I can change this to like miscellaneous list or something, and then from then we're gonna print random.choice and then with our list name in here. So if we're to do this, it would go Pikachu, true, which is our boolean, Snorlax, another string, Weedle, another string, Pikachu 1.03, which is a float. And you can see it's basically the simplified version of this, but just it can do a lot more stuff. And let's go on to the next one. This one is rand range. Rand range is basically like rand int, I'm pretty sure, but it's just you can add another number behind here, which will it skip by. So if we put 2 here, it's always gonna be random 0 to 100 right here, 0 to 100, but always by 2s instead of by 1. So this means that there will never be an odd number. It will always be an even number no matter how much you try. And if you wanted an odd number, you could just set it as 1 normally, and you can see odd numbers appear, and some even numbers too, I think. Yeah, because 1 is basically the same thing as rand int. If we put it as 3, oh, I forget, 3 is also even numbers because there could be like 12 and stuff. I'm dumb. But you can basically set this to like 50, and there could only be 50 and 100, I'm pretty sure. 50, 0, and 100. Or is there no 100? Wait, let me change this to 101. Okay, so there's, if we have this at 100 and we random by 50, there's only going to be 0 and 50. But if you want 100 in there too, you have to change it to 101. And there you can see 100, 0, 50, yeah. So yeah, that's rand range, and that's the random module. We're going to be moving on to system modules now, and we're going to have to import it as usual. Instead of system, it's actually sys or sys. So import sys, and this will get our module for us. And then from there, we're going to be using one code right here, or one feature of the module is the exit, system.exit right here. So we're also going to be using, I'm pretty sure this is a math module? I'm not sure. I think it is. But what if I restart the kernel, right? Clear output. Okay, and I run this one. Can I still run this one? Okay, I can still run it. So this isn't a math module feature, it's just a feature in Python. So answer equals input. So we're gonna have a user input right here. Would you like to exit the match, yes or no? And then if they put yes, then system.exit, it'll come up this little red bar right here, but it doesn't matter. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And now if we put anything else, like if we put no, it will keep on going. You could put ASD or something, it'll still keep on going until you say yes, and it'll exit the code. So yeah, that is the system module. And checking PIP version, this is basically going to check if you're updated or not. I'm using 22.1.2, but if you're like watching this from way in the future, you could be at like 25 point something. But yeah, this is how to check your PIP version. You can also do it with /v instead of // version. It's the same thing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's the same thing, but this is just a shortened version. But make sure the V is capitalized. If you have lowercase, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work. Yep, it does a different command, so have it capitalized. And then in here, PIP commands, you can check what you can do with PIP using PIP/h. You can see there's a lot of stuff, / isolated /v. Give more output option is, this is what we did last time, and you can see /v uppercase and /v lowercase is 2 completely different commands. So make sure to make your case sensitive. It's very case sensitive, so make sure to use the correct one. And from there we can install with PIP. I already showed you installing modules. You just have to do install and then there's stuff. But you can also use PIP install PyTube. I'm pretty sure this is like your CMD. because you can't just like do this and then go to your CMD. Oh wait, my CMD is running, so I don't think I can test it out. Let me try with another CMD. If we just put install PyTube like this, it's not recognized, so we have to do pip install PyTube like this with pip in front, and then it should install it like so. And then if you want to uninstall it, just do pip uninstall PyTube -- yes. So there you go, it's uninstalled. Uninstalling PyTube successfully uninstalled. And existing modules, packages, and libraries. So this will just check what we have in our pip database, I'm pretty sure. So if we just run that, I have quite a lot, but I'm pretty sure by default there's going to be a lot already. But yeah, this will just check your pip list using the command pip list, by the way. And this is going to check the outdated modules, packages, and libraries. So pip list -- outdated, and it will show you if you have any that are outdated. It might take a little bit of time, but yeah, here it is. Fast JSON schema, blah blah blah. Note, you may need to restart the kernel to use updated packages. And yeah, it'll just show you some of the stuff that are kind of not updated. So my pip version actually is the latest version 22.2, but I'm still using 22.1.2. Yeah, you can see the latest version and the version you're using right now. And then you can upgrade the module, package, and library using pip install -- user -- upgrade and QR code. So if you were to run that, requirements already satisfied, etc. I'm not sure if you need this actually, or just what if we do pip in back here? Does that work? I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that works. So now my pip is updated to 22.2. So if we were to run this guy again, it shouldn't have pip on there anymore, right? Let's see. Yeah, pip disappeared. I could update every one of these, like setup tools. I could copy this and I could put it instead of pip here, and it would work. It will update this guy to 63.2. Man, I'm 4 versions behind. Holy frick, that's a lot. But yeah, that's how to update your packages and libraries. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video on modules, and I'll see you next time. Bye.